I'm Adrian, and in today's highly requested video we're taking an in-depth look at Daredevil's fighting style in Marvel's Netflix series. Daredevil is an extremely unique hero in that his superpower is what many would consider a disability. He's blind, but because of how it happened, he developed a supernatural awareness of his surroundings, using his ears and other senses to see in ways the eyes can't. Here we can see a brief example of how useful his sensory awareness is during battle. Daredevil can sense a strike before it even arrives, and slip away without even needing to turn around to confirm it's there. As such, he's an extremely proficient hand-to-hand fighter, and this is something Marvel's Netflix series has portrayed incredibly well. The 2 seasons are littered with fight sequences, and to avoid spoiling the series for anyone, this video will primarily focus on Season 1. That being said, there's a plethora of content to go through as we set out to uncover just how many fighting styles this particular incarnation of Daredevil is proficient at. Matt Murdock's father was a boxer, and as such he's obviously proficient in this well-known martial art. We've seen Captain America as well as Batman display boxing prowess, but what's pretty neat about Daredevil's case is that you can see really great form. One of the key aspects of boxing is that you want to keep your hands at all times up and close by your face. You leave them down for a second and you risk getting clocked right across the jaw. You can see that influence right here after he delivers his uppercut. Notice how as he follows up with a left hook, his right hand stays next to his cheek. What's pretty unique about Daredevil's fighting style is that he also shows elements of the Malaysian martial art Silat. Its philosophy is to basically kill the enemy before they kill you. It's known for being very quick and violent, something which is readily demonstrated in the excellent film The Raid. Notice how similar Daredevil moves to Rama right here. They both aren't afraid of crouching in the middle of the fight and striking the lower areas of the body. Philip Silvera is a choreographer of the Daredevil series, and I feel that needs to be mentioned, not only to give the man major props for choreographing such amazing fight sequences, but he has also confirmed that Silat is one of Daredevil's many fighting styles. Without a doubt, Daredevil's signature martial art in this series is Kali, also known as Eskrima or Arnis. Kali is a Filipino martial art that emphasizes weapon-based fighting with sticks, blades, and various other weapons. In the case of Daredevil, he mostly uses 2 small batons, each one known as a baston and Kali. They're useful for extending your reach in order to better strike your opponent and are great for blocking as well as dealing with multiple opponents. Another element in this martial art is its focus on very effective weapon disarming techniques. They are all based around ranges and relative body positions, known as gates and Kali, and their effects on joints. Joint manipulation is extremely important in disarms, as that is usually what causes one to drop their weapon. Take a look at how Daredevil effortlessly twists this man's wrist inward to get him to drop the knife. But sometimes to be effective in a fight, you need to go back to basics, and for that you turn to one of the oldest martial arts, Kung Fu. However, Kung Fu is an umbrella term, and in Daredevil's case he is experienced with Wing Chun Kung Fu. As it was explored in Ip Man's fight scene breakdown, Wing Chun really shines when countering standard punches. For example, as this man goes in for a simple left hook, Daredevil blocks the incoming hit and follows up with several strikes. And looking at this even closer, notice how he curls his fingers around the blocked hit and holds it as he continues his barrage of attacks? That act of momentarily immobilizing an opponent's limbs to give you a brief opportunity to strike while he cannot is called trapping. Trapping is also an element of Jeet Kune Do, which was developed by arguably the most famous martial artist of all time, Bruce Lee. He created Jeet Kune Do by taking elements of what he liked from his training in Wing Chun and mixing it with other fighting styles. Above all else, he wanted to create a style that was incredibly fast and very direct. Jeet Kune Do literally means the way of the intercepting fist. And something very particular to this style is that unlike other martial arts where a punch comes in and you block and then counterattack, in Jeet Kune Do you instead counterattack the punch with a quicker punch of your own. Hence the name intercepting the fist. Daredevil exhibits this training several times during the hallway sequence. Take a look at how a punch is coming in and he immediately lowers to punch the gut, bypassing the block entirely. And right after that, he immediately punches this man's throat instead of blocking his punch and throwing one of his own. But Daredevil knows that in order to bring more power to your strikes, you need to use your legs. And when you need kicks, the best martial art to turn to is Taekwondo, as it specializes in adding a wide array of practical as well as more theatrical techniques to your fighting arsenal. He's used the jump spin back kick, the tornado kick, a great technique that involves faking out your enemy, making him think that the kick is coming from the other leg, the very theatrical 540 hook kick, spin hook kicks, and even took a page out of Captain America's book by delivering quite a few push kicks of his own. Perhaps not enough to merit a montage, but there are quite a few. One kick that I'd like to highlight is this variation of the jump spin hook kick. Daredevil manages to add a whole lot of extra power to the technique because he is essentially throwing his whole body along with it instead of keeping one foot down. This is why he ends up on the floor. Where I trained in Taekwondo, this was known as a basket kick, as you are kicking while throwing yourself into an imaginary basket. But there isn't always enough room or time to fully extend your arm or leg, and that's when Muay Thai's devastating elbows and knees come into play. They are extremely quick to execute and quite powerful as well. Daredevil frequently uses his elbows and knees in his many skirmishes, so it's safe to say Daredevil has trained in Muay Thai as well. Wushu is also a part of Daredevil's fighting arsenal. The style's strength lies in its theatrical movements, such as turning a common cartwheel into a kick, or flipping your body over in a manner which not only looks cool, but ends up with your opponent taking a hit. Daredevil also adds flair to many of his other strikes, such as his twirling punch, with the influence no doubt lying in his Wushu training. And during the awesome stairwell sequence from Season 2, he uses the chain as an excellent striking weapon, something which is readily taught with similar weapons in Wushu. Continuing his theatrical side, Daredevil is no stranger to using techniques seen in the world of professional wrestling. These include the always fun to see suplex, the dependable drop kick, and even go so far as to pick his enemy up, run with him, and toss him WWE style. And when the man without fear simply doesn't want to punch or kick his enemies in any way, shape, or form, he can always rely on simply throwing them around. And that's where Judo's excellent throws and joint manipulation techniques get to shine. Whether it's simply flipping an enemy to the ground with a classic hip throw, or executing a good old armbar, Judo is incredibly handy to disable your enemies. So in conclusion, how many fighting styles does Daredevil know? They are boxing, silat, kali, Wing Chun, Jeet Kune Do, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, Wushu, professional wrestling, and Judo, which brings us to the grand total of 10 fighting styles. What other character would you like to see me break down in terms of his fighting style? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe and follow me on my social media accounts to be notified when another new episode premieres. It would also be great if you could join my Patreon, as you can get exclusive rewards there. See you next time.